Let me ask you something right now. How bad do you want it? Because if you're not waking up every single morning with fire in your chest and purpose in your soul, then you're still sleeping on your own greatness. 2025 is here. Not coming, here. And some of you are still stuck in the same habits, same mindset, same excuse you had in 2024. Still waiting, still planning, still talking, still dreaming. But you know what you haven't done yet? Started doing, stop planning, start doing. Success comes from execution, not intention. This is where most people get stuck. They have the ideas. They have the vision. They've even mapped out the perfect team, the ideal schedule, the someday goals. But here's the truth. No amount of planning can substitute for action. You can create the most detailed blueprint, but if you don't pick up the hammer and start building, nothing changes. We live in a world obsessed with preparation. People watch videos, read books, take courses, and download apps to get ready. They tell themselves they're not ready yet. They need to learn just one more thing. But the truth is, that's fear wearing a mask. That's perfectionism disguised as productivity. Preparation feels safe. Doing feels risky. But if you want results, you have to step out of the comfort zone of planning, step into the chaos of action. Action is where transformation lives. It's in the sweat, the grind, the missteps, and the moments when you don't know what's next. But you move anyway. Everyone says they want to be successful, but only a few are willing to do what it takes. Not in theory, but in reality. Easy to write down goals on January 1st. It's a whole different level to wake up at 5 a.m. on a rainy Tuesday in March and do the work when no one's watching. You don't need more information. You don't need a better strategy. You need to start. Because starting creates momentum. It changes your mindset. When you act, your confidence builds. Stop overthinking. You begin learning through experience instead of just theory. Action teaches you faster than any book or lecture ever could. Think about it like this. Imagine someone who wants to learn how to swim. They read books, watch hours of tutorials, even memorize the science of floating. But until they actually get in the water, they don't know what it feels like. And feeling is everything. Execution gives you feedback. It tells you what works and what doesn't. It sharpens your instincts. Planning might make you smarter, but execution makes you wiser. That people often confuse busyness with productivity. They spend days organizing notes, creating vision boards, buying planners, color coding their goals. And they feel accomplished because they're doing something. But that is something isn't the thing that moves them forward. It's not uncomfortable. It's not vulnerable. It doesn't challenge them. Real action feels different. It feels like rejection, feels like exhaustion, it feels like courage. And don't get it twisted. Action doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Perfectionism is a thief. It convinces people to wait until everything is lined up, until they feel fully confident, until all the stars align. But if you wait for perfect, you'll wait forever. Progress beats perfection every single time. A small step in the right direction taken today is worth more than a perfect step that never happens. You might fail when you start. And in fact, you probably will fail. That's part of the deal. But failure through action is growth. Failure through inaction is regret. You will never regret trying and learning, but you will regret watching another year go by while you sat on the sidelines. There's power in momentum. One decision, one move, one step sets off a chain reaction. Suddenly, you're not talking about what you're gonna do. You're living it. You're becoming it. You don't have to be fearless to act. You just have to be brave enough to try. And when you try again and again, you start to change. You start to believe in yourself, not because of what you say you do, but because of what you did. So don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for clarity. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Clarity comes from movement. Direction comes from taking steps. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You can think about it, talk about it, or plan it. But until you do it, it's just a dream. Dreams without action are just wishful thinking. But dreams fueled by action, that's power. That's change. That's what makes 2025 different from every year before. No one is coming to save you. Your life changes when you take charge. That's the raw, unfiltered truth most people avoid. We live in a time where it's easy to blame everything outside of ourselves for where we are. We blame the economy. We blame our parents. We blame our job, our past, our circumstances. But the hard truth is this: as long as you're waiting for someone or something to fix your life, you've already surrendered your power. Die. You don't control what's being handed to you, but you do control what you do with it. Life is not fair. Some people start with advantages. Some people face more obstacles, but no one escapes responsibility for their own life. Whether you were born into struggle or privilege, the scoreboard doesn't lie. Eventually, everyone has to wake up and decide who they're going to be, regardless of where they came from. Responsibility isn't about blame. It's about ownership. It means you stop waiting for a rescue and start building your own ladder. It means looking in the mirror and saying, if I want change, it has to start with me. That moment is powerful. It's not always comfortable. In fact, it might hurt. But the moment you realize no one owes you success, you become free to go after it without limits. Taking responsibility means giving up excuses. It means trading comfort for growth. It means doing the hard work when it's easier to complain. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it, because you understand that your life is your business. And businesses don't grow on feelings, they grow on discipline. When you take control, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for someone to discover you, promote you, encourage you, promote you. You start creating your own opportunities. You write your own story. You stop asking the why me and start asking the what's next. You stop being a victim and become a creator. That the problem is, most people don't want that level of control. They say they do, but they don't. Because control comes with accountability. If it's on you, then the failures are yours too. And that's heavy. But guess what? The victories are also yours. The breakthroughs, the transformation, the pride of knowing you built something with your own two hands and no one can take it from you. You want to change your life? Then you have to make a decision. Not a wish, not a New Year's resolution. A decision. A decision to stop blaming the past. A decision to stop living in fear. A decision to rise up and take back control of the direction your life is heading in. And here's what most people get wrong. They think control means certainty. It doesn't. You might not know the outcome. You might not have all the answer. But when you take control, you say, I may not know what's ahead, but I trust myself to figure it out. That's real power. That's what it means to own your life. Taking charge isn't about being perfect. It's not about pretending to have it all together. It's about being honest enough to say, this is where I am. This is where I need to grow. It's about taking one step, even when you're scared. It's about being relentless in your pursuit of better, because no one's going to do it for you. Too many people are waiting for a sign, waiting for approval, waiting for conditions to be perfect. But life doesn't hand out green lights. You have to drive through the yellow. You have to move through uncertainty. You have to create momentum with your own effort, not with someone else's permission. You are the CEO of your life. You are the leader of your own destiny. And leaders don't make excuses, they make moves. They don't look around for someone to blame. They look within and ask, what can I do right now? Because when you take full responsibility, every day becomes a chance to rewrite your story. Every moment becomes a tool in your hands. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to prove just how much fight you got inside you. No mentor, no coach, no motivational video can replace your own decision to rise. They can help, they can guide, but they cannot do. That part is on you. And the moment you embrace that, really embrace it, your life starts to shift. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop surviving and start building. Because the truth is, nobody's going to care about your dream the way you do. Nobody's going to push you harder than you can push yourself. And if you don't take responsibility for your life, someone else will. And they won't do it for your benefit, they'll do it for theirs. If you don't create your future, someone else will hand you theirs. And that's how people wake up one day and realize they've lived someone else's life. Not because they didn't have the potential, but because they didn't take control. Motivation fades. Daily discipline is what produces lasting results. Everyone feels fired up when they hear a powerful speech, watch a video, or experience a breakthrough moment. That fire burns bright, but only for a while. It's easy to get excited about change. It's easy to make bold declarations when you're inspired. Oh, but the truth is, motivation is a spark, not a fuel source. It gives you a moment of clarity, but discipline gives you momentum. And if you don't build discipline, then every time motivation fades, your progress stops with it. Two. Discipline is what separates those who want something from those who get it. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not exciting. Discipline is quiet, consistent, and often boring. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It's saying no to distractions when everyone else is saying yeah. It's showing up when it would be easier to stay home. Discipline doesn't rely on your mood. It relies on your commitment. That people chase motivation because it feels good. It makes them feel like they're moving even when they're standing still. But the people who make real changes in their lives don't chase feeling. They chase results. And results come from repetition, from doing the right thing over and over again, long after the excitement's worn off. Joy, that's the hard truth. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. You don't build a strong body in a week. You don't build a successful business in a month. You don't build character in a day. These things take time, and time demands consistency. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your reality. It's what keeps you moving forward through the highs and the lows. It's what turns a plan into a process, and a process into process into progress that most people wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right circumstance to take action. But those who rely on motivation will always live at the mercy of their feelings. One bad day, one sleepless night, one hard moment, and they're off track. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is what kicks in when your feelings try to convince you to quit. There's a reason the most successful people in the world talk about routines. It's not because they enjoy being robotic. It's because they understand that freedom comes from structure. You want freedom in your life? Freedom in your life? Freedom in your time, in your finances, in your mindset? Then build the discipline to do the hard things without needing hype. Do the hard things without applause. Do the hard things without someone reminding you. And here's what's real. You don't need to do huge things every day. You just need to keep doing the right things. Small disciplines, repeated daily, compound over time. A 30-minute workout each day adds up. Reading 10 pages every night adds up. Writing one paragraph, making one phone call, saving 1% of your income, it all adds up. Discipline doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment, but the rewards show up in the life it builds. Some days you're going to want to quit. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel doubt. You're going to wonder if all this effort is worth it. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is your inner coach. It's the voice that says, I know it's hard. Do it anyway. It's the part of you that fights for your future when your present is full of resistance. And make no mistake, discipline is built. You're not born with it. You create it through practice. Every time you do the thing you didn't want to do, you build it. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build it. Every time you finish what you start, even when it's inconvenient, you build it. Oh, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be persistent that people will say you're obsessed. Let them. People will say you're too focused. Let them. They don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. And they don't have to live with your regrets. You do. So protect your standards. Keep your word. Be the kind of person who follows through, not for praise, but for purpose. That discipline means treating your goals like a job, not a hobby. You show up, you clock in, you do the work, not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, but every day. Because you know the cost of inconsistency. You know what it's like to stop and start, to gain momentum and lose it. You felt the sting of setbacks and the ache of wasted time. And you know deep down that nothing changes until you do. Not just once, not just for a week, but every single day. Discipline is the engine. It's the tool. It's the key. When motivation dies down, it will. It's discipline that keeps the fire burning. There's no perfect moment. Now is the time to move, fail, learn, and grow. This is one of the biggest lies people tell themselves. The belief that someday everything will line up just right. That there will be a day when you wake up and all the fear is gone. All the uncertainty is gone. And you suddenly feel 100% ready to take action. But that day never comes. Waiting for the perfect time is just another way to procrastinate. It feels responsible. It feels strategic, but it's fear in disguise. The truth is, Starting before you're ready is the only way to truly grow. Action creates clarity. The longer you wait, the more doubt creeps in. The more you think, the more reasons you find not to do it. You start talking yourself out of things you were passionate about just weeks ago. You go from inspired to paralyzed because you're looking for guarantees in a life that offers none. You don't need perfect timing. You need courage. You need to be bold enough to start with what you have, where you are right now. Some of the most successful people in the world began with nothing more than a decision to stop waiting, a decision to take the first messy, uncertain, uncomfortable step. Because what you'll realize is that confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Confidence is something you build as a result of doing the hard thing, of stumbling, of failing forward. Waiting until the stars align is an illusion. There will always be something in the way, an obligation, a distraction, a doubt, a fear. Life doesn't clear a path for you. You have to move forward in spite of the obstacles. You have to stop looking for a sign and become the signal. You have to make movement your mindset. Because while others are standing still, planning and thinking it, you'll be the one gaining ground. When you move, even imperfectly, you create momentum. Momentum is powerful. It carries you through the hard days. It makes the next step a little easier. And the step after that a little faster. It builds belief because you start seeing results. Maybe small at first, but real. And those small wins, they stack up. They become proof that you're growing. That's your emotion, not your emotion, not your emotion. You can't learn to ride a bike by reading a manual. You can study all day long, but until you get on and start pedaling, you won't understand balance. You won't learn how to fall and get back up. Experience teaches you more than preparation ever could. Every failure teaches you what works and what doesn't. Every misstep sharpens your instincts. Every uncomfortable moment makes you stronger. This is how you build resilience. This is how you develop grit. That people who wait for perfect conditions rarely finish anything. They spend their lives on the edge, watching others live fully, watching others take risks, make mistakes, and still grow. The only way to guarantee failure is to never start. The only way to guarantee you stay stuck is to keep convincing yourself it's not the right time. You don't need a full plan. You need a starting point. You don't need to have it all figured out. You need to be willing to figure it out along the way. Life rewards the action takers, the ones who show up even if they don't know all the answers, the ones who trust that they'll grow into the person they need to be through the process, not before it. It's uncomfortable to move when you're unsure. It's hard to take steps when you don't know the outcome, but the greatest growth comes from that very place. It's the discomfort that stretches you, that molds you, that prepares you for the next level. If you only take action when things feel easy, you'll never become the version of yourself that's capable of handling what you truly want. You have a choice every single day. Way to move, hope or act, think or do. One choice keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. You might not be where you want to be yet, but you're not going to get there by staying still. Movement is the difference between reaching for a new life and creating one. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be willing to show up, to fail, and to learn. Willing to take ownership of your journey, even when it's messy. Because nothing is guaranteed, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. But you have right now. And right now is the only thing you need to start changing everything. One day at a time, one step at a time. 365 days means 365 chances to improve. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the big picture. When you look at how far you want to go, how much you want to change, and how different your life could be, it can feel impossible. You start thinking about the next 5 years, 10 years, and the weight of that vision crushes your momentum. But the truth is, lasting transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not the result of one massive leap. It's the result of 1,000 small steps taken consistently over time. The people who achieve great things understand the power of daily commitment. They know that what they do today matters just as much, if not more, than what they plan to do tomorrow. You can't cheat consistency. You can't shortcut the grind. Every single day is an opportunity. Every single day is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. You don't need to reinvent yourself in one moment. You just need to be faithful to the process, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one notices. Discipline thrives in the daily. It lives in the early mornings, the quiet nights, the moments when you choose to keep going instead of giving in. Those little decisions might seem small, but they stack up. Skipping one workout doesn't ruin your progress, but skipping them consistently, justifying it over and over. That's how momentum dies. In the same way, doing one positive thing might not change your life in a day, but doing it every day can change your life completely, That consistency is about building habits that align with your goals. It's not about perfection. You're going to have off days. You're going to make mistakes. That's part of the process. What matters is that you keep showing up. You don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. You don't let failure become final. You course correct, you get back on track, and you move forward. That's how real progress is made. Think of your life like a brick wall. Every day you lay one brick. That brick might be a workout. It might be reading 10 pages. It might be making one uncomfortable phone call, writing one paragraph, choosing one healthy meal. One brick. And some days it won't feel like much. It won't feel like it matters. But if you lay a brick every day for a year, by the end of it, you build something solid, something real. Something that lasts out. People often overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. They sprint for a few days, then burn out. But the ones who win, they pace themselves. They stay steady. They keep the long game in mind. They realize that life is a marathon, not a sprint. And in a marathon, the person who keeps moving forward, even slowly, finishes strong. There's power in routine. When you wake up with a plan and stick to it, even when it's tough, you build confidence. You show yourself that you can be trusted, that your word means something, that you're not just dreaming about a better life. You're creating one, brick by brick, day by day. Consistency builds identity. You start to see yourself differently. You don't just say, I want to be fit. You become someone who works out. You don't just say, I want to be successful. You become someone who does the work daily, no matter what time. Small disciplines repeated with intention create massive shifts over time. That's the compound effect in motion. You won't see dramatic results after 1 week, maybe not even after a month. But give it 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you won't even recognize the person you were when you started. That's what makes consistency so powerful. It transforms your life slowly, steadily, and permanently. Most people aren't consistent because they chase feelings. If they feel motivated, they work. If they feel tired, they quit. But those who succeed build systems. They train themselves to act regardless of how they feel. They don't just work hard, they work smart. They understand that one good decision each day leads to extraordinary results over time. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to master every skill this week. Just do something today that your future self will thank you for. Do it again tomorrow. And the next day, stack the wins, build the momentum, and watch how your life changes. Not because of one massive change, but because of 100 small, consistent ones that add up over time. You owe it to yourself to become everything you were meant to be. Deep down, you know there's more inside you, more potential, more fire, more strength. You've had moments, maybe quiet, maybe fleeting, where you felt that glimpse of who you could be. That version of you who isn't held back by fear, doubt, or the opinions of others. That version of you who walks with purpose, who lives with discipline, who doesn't just dream, but builds. That's the real you. The version that's buried under layers of excuses, distractions, and limiting beliefs. And you owe it to yourself to bring that version to life. You weren't created to just exist, to go through the motions, to live every day on autopilot. You weren't meant to settle for average. But the truth is, life doesn't hand you your best self. You have to fight for it. You have to choose it. You have to show up for it day after day, especially on the days when it's hardest. Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be will only close if you step into it with intention, courage, and relentless effort. Nobody else can do it for you. You can have mentors, support, and inspiration, but at the end of the day, it's your reflection in the mirror. It's your choices. It's your standard. You can't borrow someone else's discipline. You can't inherit someone else's success. You have to build your own. And the first step is believing your worthy effort. That your goals, your dreams, your potential, it all matters. Not because someone else said so, but because you decide it does. You owe it to yourself to stop playing small, to stop shrinking who you are just to fit into a life you don't even want. There's a reason you feel restless. There's a reason you feel unsatisfied. It's not because something's wrong with you. It's because something inside you knows you're capable more, and that voice will never go away. It might get quiet when you ignore it. It might get buried beneath comfort and routine, but it's always there whispering, reminding you that you were built for greatness. Not mediocrity. Growth. Growth is uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Because every time you grow, you shed a version of yourself that's no longer serving you. You step into something new, something unfamiliar, something challenging. And in that space, you find who you really are, not who the world told you to be, not who your past mistakes say you are, but who you choose to become with every decision, every action, every discipline you commit to. You don't owe it to anyone else to change. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the younger version of you who believed anything was possible. You owe it to the future version of you who's waiting on the other side of consistency and courage. You owe it to the people you haven't met yet, the ones who will be impacted by the person you're becoming. You don't need to chase approval. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to honor your own potential by doing the work to unleash it. There's a cost to staying the same. Every day you delay, every excuse you repeat, every time you choose comfort over growth, you're paying for it with your peace, your confidence, your future. And the longer you stay stuck, the harder it is to believe change is even possible. But it is. The life you want is possible. The version of you you admire is real. Not in imagination, but in action, in sacrifice, in discipline, and relentless forward motion. Not you were born with gifts. Maybe you haven't discovered them yet. Maybe you buried them under doubt and fear, but they're still there. And the only way to honor those gifts is to use them. Not perfectly, not with ease, but with effort and intention. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to commit to becoming the kind of person who doesn't stop growing, who doesn't stop striving, who doesn't let failure define the journey. The best version of you isn't found. It's built, brick by brick, day by day, through hard choices and small wins, through resilience and responsibility, through moments where no one's watching, but you keep going anyway. You owe it to yourself to become someone you're proud of, someone who didn't give up, someone who didn't settle, someone who didn't wait for a perfect moment to begin. So today, right now, decide that your life is worth the fight. Decide that your dreams deserve your best effort. You have everything you need inside you to start changing your story. One step, one day, one decision at a time. You don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just start. Because when you do, you're not just changing your life in 2025. You're creating a future that's unstoppable. Let me ask you something right now. How bad do you want it? Because if you're not waking